Hello and welcome to Tonight with Rodney Dan. I'm Rodney Dan. Ho-whoa now. With me tonight I have special guest Bernard Scones.
Rodney. Yeah, it's actually pronounced scones. Yeah, I've had problems with that all my life, if I'm honest.
Okay, it says here that you're a drug addict.
I'm a drug addict? Who wrote that?
I believe you did.
Yeah, I did. I did write that.
Anyway, so how did you get involved with drugs originally?
Well, my dad told us that if we took drugs, we'd burn in hell for all eternity.
Okay, so your dad was very anti-drugs then?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But he did offer very competitive rates, I'll give him that.
Right, so your dad sold drugs?
Well, Rodney, that all depends on what you're referring to as being drugs.
You know, like drugs that are illegal?
Hells yeah. Yeah, drugs everywhere when I was a kid. Actually, you'll like this, right? My dad used to replace my lemon sherbet with grade A, pure-cut cocaine. He was a joker, my dad. Make no mistake.
Okay, so where did your drug addiction begin? I expect it was with your dad.
Rodney, my personal philosophy at one time or another was never ever, under any circumstances, get involved with drugs.
Okay, so then what happened after that?
Well, 2 or 3 months into my heroin addiction, I thought it was high time that I changed my personal philosophy from something so sort of against drugs to something a bit more, sort of pro-drugs.
What, drugs? So your dad. Tell us more about your dad, Bernard.
Well, as it happens, my dad is something I like to call a latter-day hero. His name was Arthur P. Scones, and he learnt his lessons the hard way, being of Caribbean descent as he is. What? And before you ask, Rodney, yes, he was a black man. Does that sit uneasily with you?
Well, no, just genetically, because you're not black.
No, Rodney. Listen, sure, he had a white man's complexion, blonde hair and blue eyes, and the only language that he spoke was Swedish. But there's one thing I'm certain he never lied about, and that's of his Caribbean heritage.
So do you speak Swedish?
Not a word.
So was your dad much of a liar?
Yeah, he did lie quite a lot, yeah. But all in good fun. I mean, actually, he once tried to convince me that he murdered my mother because she burnt the roast.
But he didn't murder your mother?
No, wait, hang on. No, he did murder my mother. No, that wasn't a lie. What am I talking about?
Because she burnt the roast.
To a cinder.
You earlier called your dad a latter-day hero.
Look, Rodney, hold your horses, okay? If what you're trying to do here is create a witty juxtaposition between two contrary pieces of information that I've offered so that you can sully my family's good name, first consider this. My dad once ate an entire jar of paprika.
What are you talking about?
You know the little jars that you get from Sainsbury's? You
think that... You think that justifies anything that he's ever done?
Rodney, I defy you to even eat a teaspoon of paprika, let alone an entire jar.
Bernard, your dad's a murderous drug pusher.
Rodney, shut your mouth. My dad is a respectable man.
What's he ever done to make you think that?
Rodney, I think you're failing to take into account what I just said about that jar of paprika.
He murdered your mother.
She got what was coming to her.
Because she burnt the roast.
You don't know what it was like, Rodney. Every single Sunday, we'd sit at that table, knife and fork in hand, the hope in our eyes, deep down, draining, week after week, presented with the same charred mess, smiling as though we weren't disappointed. But we were disappointed, Rodney. We were very disappointed.
Bernard, your dad murdered your mum.
My dad, Rodney, was a great man. Just 'cause he had, blue hair. But he had hair. He Murder my mum?
Bernard, are you on drugs right now?
Yeah, I'm off my fucking tits, if I'm honest with you, Rodney.
Well, I think that marks the end of another successful episode of Tonight with Rodney Dan, with me, Rodney Dan. I hope you all took something from it.
Rodney, I'm just going to shoot up if you want to get in on it.
Alright, just a smidge.